started moving in, and then like the pandemic becomes official on like the 15th of March, and then like Americans kind of started to stop trusting their government as much as they used to, and therefore the firearms industry, you know, starts to experience a boom period where people are like, you know what, maybe I'm gonna buy, you know, some of this stuff that I think I might need.
Something gun?
Yeah.
I think I need a gun.
So the pandemic throws people off, and then things were crazy for a couple of months, and then started to cool off a little bit, and then that's when the rioting started in the summer of 2020.
The civil unrest,
summer of
burning
love.
cities.
So then people went from like, I don't trust my government to like, I don't know if I trust my community anymore, and so then there's more ordering, and it's kind of weird to watch that change. And I mean, it's good to be able to provide like really high quality equipment for people who want to protect themselves or prepare for.
Let's see. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Big Tex Ordnance podcast. We're here today with Ian. We got Jesse, Kurt, and Steven from Blue Alpha, having them on the podcast here at SHOT Show 2023. So, guys, who wants to go first? Tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of who y'all are. And
I'll let Kurt go first.
Yeah, sure. So we are Blue Alpha. We are a soft goods manufacturing company that. Manufacturing and retail company. So we make mostly belts is what we're known for, but we are branching out in all kinds of other things. But we're essentially a sewing shop, and everything that is Blue Alpha branded on our website is made in-house by us. And we make concealed carry belts, battle belts, and some accessories that can go on belts. And we've branched out into other things like concealed carry fanny packs. You know, there's tourniquet holders. We do a bunch of our own apparel in-house. Like we make fleece beanies that are cut, sewn, and printed in-house. So we really like just being a U.S. manufacturer and having full control over everything from, you know, the materials, the raw materials, all the way to the customer service on the other end.
Nice.
Very cool.
I have one of y'all's beanies, and it's
we love those things because it's pretty rare for a company to not just outsource something like that. So we buy rolls of Polartec fleece, cut it on like a high-end CNC cutting table, and then stitch it together with special, you know, stretchy materials, and then we print it in-house with our logo on it, and they're just like really comfortable, really warm, and they're great value too for what they are, especially being made in the USA.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, you know, when you get a hat or something, it's like, oh yeah, we made this hat. It's like, oh yeah, like you embroidered that hat or something. You know, like, and that's the problem is like when I hand somebody a beanie, I'm like, yeah, we made this, and they're like, they automatically assume that we just put our logo on it. Like, no, but like we really did make this, you know, and so. Yeah, we're pretty proud of that. So
yep. And so Jesse and I are the founders and owners of Blue Alpha. We started making belts in spring of 2016. We started with concealed carry belts, and Jesse and I decided that we wanted to start a business. I liked the firearms world, the firearms industry. That's where my brain was. And Jesse wanted to start a
business.
Jesse is like the guy that wants to start the business. He's the entrepreneur. And so we kind of teamed up and decided we were going to make a concealed carry belt based on I had bought my first concealed carry belt and kind of had a bad experience. And I was complaining about it to Jesse, like, I feel like I overpaid for this. They charged $13 to ship it to me. It's just like a belt in an empty box.
And I did confirm that. Like, you definitely overpaid for this.
Yes.
Like, there's no way this should cost that.
So that gave us kind of the idea of like, well, there's probably opportunity in this market then, because you know, if what I bought was considered to be one of the best, then we can probably compete with that. So we tried to find a sewing contractor because we don't know how to sew.
Right.
And that's, you know, a very logical thing to do. And we did end up talking to a guy in South Georgia, and he's like, you guys should just make this yourself. And
well, he didn't tell that to us right away, but he was kind of like, yeah, I could do this. And I was like, no, you can't. He's like, you should do it. And I was like, I remember he put his arm around me. He's like, you can do this. And I was like, okay. But then I was like, on the way home, I was like, Kurt, there's no way. Like, I don't know how to sew.
Yeah.
Like, how are we going to do this? You know, so it was a bit discouraging for the next few months. Just kind of like, oh, well,
So-
I guess that was a good idea, but
Yeah. So we ended up buying a used sewing machine like off of eBay.
Nice.
No, it was, well, I mean, it was a local dealer.
A local
but,
dealer.
yeah.
Okay. And then Jesse learned how to sew watching like some people on YouTube, and then just trial and error. And we started off just making belts in his little like shop at his house, and I had like a set of purple kitchen scissors that I was using to cut the webbing, and a roll of masking tape on the table to like figure out the sizing, and we used a little like a torch that I'd have to light every time to like burn, to clean up the ends. It was like a
It was ridiculous.
Very high-tech.
as a caveman.
It was ridiculous.
operation. Like
Totally ridiculous.
OSHA, never heard of her.
yeah.
But
it was,
those early belts were pretty nice though.
yeah,
'Cause, like,
they took so much time to make.
yeah, like we melted the ends, and then once it would like solidify again, we would sand them and then melt them again
yeah.
and sand them
With,
again,
like,
and
a
it was
tiny
like
belt sander that we were using to
the
like,
end
make
was
them really
like
nice.
just
Belt sander for the
magnificent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we started with that, just the two of us, and our first year was spent in Jesse's garage, and eventually got an employee and got our own 700 square foot shop that we were like, man, this place is huge. It has a door that like separates like one area from the other, and
Living the high life now.
yeah,
Oh, totally.
yeah,
We're
this
like,
place
we're
has a
never going to fill
bathroom.
this thing. Like,
Yeah.
it was literally smaller than the room we're in right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
quite a bit actually.
Yeah, and Jesse had talked with the landlord and
Oh, yeah.
was just like, hey, what happens if we like can't pay our bill? Like, what happens?
I was really concerned about committing to a rent payment.
because we were just like so intimidated
Yeah.
by that, and she was like, it'll be fine. I'll like if you guys can't pay, I'll she basically was like, we'll let you off the hook.
Shout out to her. She's
she's
legit.
awesome. She's awesome.
She's super awesome.
But we ended up not even making it in there for a year. We had to move after 11 months to
and didn't hold it against us.
Yes.
By the way.
Yeah. and
Moving out a year
she was
early.
like- yeah. She was
So-
like, congrats
Yeah.
on your growth. So we ended up moving 5 times in our first 4 years.
Sounds like us.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, this
Yeah.
conversation sounds very familiar.
It's been great to watch
Yeah.
you guys grow along the way, because the timelines are pretty similar, and we've known you guys for years
Yeah.
now, and definitely remember seeing go from small shop to bigger shop to bigger shop to your own gun range and all that. It's been amazing to watch, and so you guys. You share a lot of the same experiences.
Yeah,
that
we can kind of
share.
sympathize a
Oh,
little bit.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Moving is like
Yeah.
the worst
Yeah.
ever.
Luckily, most of our moves have been within like literally like a quarter mile. Like
Oh,
we were in a storage unit, so like we moved to a storage unit, we moved to another storage unit in the same complex, and we moved to the business park behind the storage unit.
Yeah.
And then we moved from the one building in the business complex to the building next door in the same business complex to like it's
That's
all
awesome.
been close moves, but
That's
still
good.
moving is
We
definitely
moved a lot, and we had to bring sewing machines up and down stairs.
Oh,
when we were
God.
moving.
Fuck that.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like, it was literally the worst.
Like I
but
think our backs
did.
are still messed up.
I had a few intimate moments with Steven moving sewing
that's
machines
true.
up and downstairs.
that was the worst part before I started working with them. It's just,
All the favors.
yeah, it was just like, hey, my friends are like, hey, what are you doing anything like that?
You're like, I don't
you remember
own a
that time you
pickup
helped us
move?
move like 6 months ago? You were pretty
but
good
that
at
was
it.
the worst part. A lot of the moves that they did originally was like literally across the train tracks or across the street or to the one building next door. And it was just like, we'll bring that sewing machine back up and bring it down and then bring it back down the next one. And it was,
Yeah.
I just remember.
it was all very, very similar. Like
I remember her bringing a
moving all
sewing
within the
machine.
same town.
Yeah, I remember bringing a sewing machine up the stairs, and I was like struggling hard. And Steven came up behind me and picked it up, and I had to walk in sync with him up the stairs.
Steven basically gave him a reach around.
Yeah, it was
to help him.
slightly
carry him
uncomfortable,
upstairs.
but also like
It was
I
a
need
professional
this.
one.
It was a professional one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for all the
He
listeners,
didn't know, but he asked for it.
For all the listeners who can't see Steven, he's legitimately 7 feet tall and 300 pounds. So
I thought it was 5'24".
he's
No,
fine,
6'12". 6'12".
Oh, 5'24".
The other guy,
Yeah.
the
That's
other
a good
guy
idea.
the other night was 5'12".
Oh, that's what
Yeah.
it is. Okay.
So yes, so that's kind of some of the miserable parts of our origin story. But along with the fact that Jesse and I, who we were aircraft mechanics for Delta Airlines, and that's actually how we met at work. And the first 3 years of Blue Alpha's existence, Jesse and I were still working at Delta. And so it was quite a juggling act to try and do all of that while working. We were working night shift at Delta. So
Oh yeah, been not night shift, but not for Delta. But
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you did night shift too.
Oh yeah.
Was it like?
Well,
was
we were rotating, so like I would
Oh,
do
gosh.
like 3, off for 4, and then like on for 3, and then off for 1, and on
Yeah.
for, like
That's the
it's
worst.
Yeah,
You never know what
Going
day
back
you're
and-
off. You're like, do I work today? Like, I don't know.
It's so bad going back and forth. Like it'd be easier just to like stick to one nights or days and just stick with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that.
It's-
That's-
it's-
everyone's like, oh yeah, like, the employer's like, oh, you can work this, and we require you to do this. But it's like, what? Are you sure this is healthy for me?
Yeah, it's like
it's like
circadian rhythms are
no,
stuff,
yeah,
it's
like
I
I could not sleep. I would get home, and I would sleep for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
and then the sun comes up, and you're like, I can't sleep anymore.
Yeah, like on nights I'd get maybe 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours
Yeah,
of sleep,
you should
and
be-
like you're just up.
In a constant like state of zombie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not good.
No,
Human body isn't meant to work night shift.
No,
It's
no,
not.
it really probably
We're
is.
figuring that out this week actually.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah.
3 hours behind. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
us,
like-
Eastern time zone boys are struggling out here.
yeah,
in
we're
Vegas.
having a hard time.
Yeah, because when the parties don't end until 1 a.m. Pacific time, it's
Yeah.
that's a bit of a thing.
Yeah, I thought
for
we had
us.
it bad being central, but like 2 hours is something, but added an extra hour on that is
Yeah.
exponentially more than
Yep.
the first two. Like the last one is
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna. It's
Yeah.
gonna be rough.
A shot show
transitioning back.
definitely removes years from your life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and including being really sick the week after shot show, as is tradition for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, luckily you're enjoying a nice martini there.
Yeah, I have a delicious martini of grape Pedialyte going, which is like one of my shot show specials.
You're so bougie.
Oh, you
But-
taste the sodium.
I guess one thing, as by way of introduction, I mean, Kurt runs mostly the marketing and like helping with product development, stuff like that, ideas and things.
The fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And then I do a lot of operations. I have, at least initially, was everything on the operations side, and then slowly, we started adding to the team, and we were able to hire people that are way better at that stuff than me. So we have a full management team now that is able to manage the business essentially with us not being there.
Nice.
So now I mostly focus on, general planning and also product. I help with product development. We've hired Steven recently to kind of spearhead product development and take charge of it, because I have a tendency to, I guess, chase a lot of different things down,
Yeah, we
and
talked about
I
this
can't
last time.
quite.
He will
yeah.
put every poker in the fire that
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, let's do
that
this.
too.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to say yes to a lot of things, and thankfully I have a team now that is like, we need to finish this one first.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, but also no.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's
Sometimes
it's
you just
good.
gotta jingle some keys over here, and
Yeah.
that helps. That
Yeah.
helps too.
So I mean, and I can be reasoned with. It's just sometimes
Yeah.
I
Well,
overstep.
with all things in life, there's what you want to do and what you
Yeah.
actually can do.
Yeah.
And they're not the same, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would be like an astronaut or something cool.
Yeah. But I mean, every like 10th idea is like a legit good idea. So just saying. I have a lot of ideas, but so Steven's been a large help with that.
You'll be shocked to learn that Steven also was a friend of ours that worked with us at Delta Airlines.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah. No, I met
I've met
Kurt.
a lot of Delta Airlines mechanics this week.
Yeah.
I've known y'all for a while, but
Yeah.
then
Chad with Flatline,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. It's like,
Yeah.
man, how many
He's another one.
mechanics they got?
Yeah. Yeah.
We,
None left. They're all out doing
-3 on the sewing side. So yeah.
Yeah,
But-
like just like a real adult, I met Kurt on the internet and decided to meet him.
Yep.
In
Like, hey.
really, it was actually down an alley. It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
Or dark alley.
It
at
was
Delta
definitely an
Airlines. I saw something he had posted on Instagram. I'm like, hey, you work at Delta, you like guns, let's meet. And so then we've been friends ever since. And he was always hanging out at our shop and helping us with R&D and stuff like that. So then, what was it, a year?
It was one of those things
year
where
and a
we
half
were.
It was a little over a year ago, but been full time with Blue Alpha for almost,
we were like,
almost
hey,
a year.
why don't we pay you for this thing that you're always doing in your free time with us?
Yeah.
Well, really, it was funny because we were talking about like this position that we wanted somebody to fill, and it was like, who could do that? And like we stewed on it for weeks, and then it was like, oh dang, Steven.
Yeah, what about
Why
that?
don't we have Steven do it?
Yeah.
I
He
think,
was working full time for the National Guard, so it was just like,
but he did have a commute.
yeah, he had a long commute.
Which
so-
was-
so
Yeah,
that's
that
what we
was-
used
that was
to
one of the
bait him out
kickers.
of it.
Excellent leverage for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
I was like, do you want to commute 5 minutes or an hour and a half
Yeah.
each way?
Yeah, I was commuting over 15 hours a week, and
Oh, jeez.
yeah, it was rough.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
were able to get him from that. So
Nice.
Yep.
yeah, it's been really good.
So y'all started with the garage. How I know y'all just got a new facility, or maybe it was a year ago.
Might seem new.
It seems like it was like
We bought it in 2019.
Oh, holy shit!
Yeah.
And then we renovated it, and we didn't move into it till March 2020.
Okay.
So,
wow.
yeah.
So it has been a couple. Wow. Time flies.
It
does feel like that,
flies. Yeah, because it's been almost.
I remember
3
you
years
posting
now.
pictures of like the whole build out and stuff,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like you know. So how big is that facility now?
It's 12,000 square feet.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Or for
And
the,
we
or for
fit-
the city, it's 11,999
Yes, this,
square feet.
according to yes.
Yeah, we
And,
had a house that was like it was like something 97, and it was
Yeah.
like, come on, y'all couldn't
That's
find
where the
three
code.
extras.
That's where the code changes.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like the code, you know, for a 12,000 square feet building. I'm not even going to tell you what it is, but like there's things that
Get
you
more
have to
expensive.
do when you go over 12,000 square feet. And it's like, why? I was like, let's just cut a square foot out of this building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be
You
cheaper.
know? It would be cheaper. Exactly.
So yeah, we've been in that facility since March 2020, which it was like March 1st, 2020. We started moving in, and then like the pandemic becomes official on like the 15th of March, and then like Americans kind of started to stop trusting their government as much as they used to, and therefore the firearms industry, you know, starts to experience a boom period where people are like, you know what, maybe I'm gonna buy, you know, some of this stuff that I think I might need.
What do
Yeah.
something gun?
Yeah.
I think I need a gun.
So the pandemic throws people off, and then things were crazy for a couple of months, and then started to cool off a little bit, and then that's when the rioting started
Yeah.
in the summer of
Then the
2020.
civil unrest,
Yeah.
summer of
burning
love.
cities.
So
and,
then people went
Yeah.
from like, I don't trust my government to like, I don't know if I trust my community anymore. And so then there's more ordering, and it's kind of weird to watch that change. And I mean, it's good to be able to provide like really high quality equipment for people who want to protect themselves or prepare for some sort of scenario. And but it was a pretty wild ride for us in 2020, and we grew as fast as we could. We're thankful that we were actually in that building. It would have been nice to have like another couple of weeks to prepare, but we pretty much filled the 12,000 square feet in the first year, like, easily.
11,999.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Thank you.
yeah.
in case the city's watching.
Yeah, I know. Right?
And we've managed to stay in that building, and we plan to continue to stay in it, just through modernizing our manufacturing processes. And so our facility is extremely high tech, and we use a lot of really cool advanced equipment and technology to manufacture our stuff, and it's one of the main ways that we can stay competitive in a world where a lot of gear is made overseas, or it's made by just other forms of really, really cheap labor, and that's not how we wanted to do it. So we have our sewing shop has air conditioning, awesome lighting, carpet. It's comfortable, it's quiet. So our strategy is let's have less employees, pay them more, and teach them how to use really high-tech equipment. And that's how we can get the most efficiency per square foot of space.
Yeah.
And that's worked out really well for us. Take good care of your people, treat them well. We actually give them a lot of freedom with the hours that they can work. So when someone comes to work for Blue Alpha, they can basically there's like a minimum and a maximum amount of hours that we want them to work, but they can kind of decide when they work.
Oh, nice.
So we have a lot of people who they'll drop their kids off at school, and then they can come and work for us.
That's huge.
And then they can go pick their kids up.
That's awesome.
And by doing that, we end up getting a lot of really high quality people that other companies wouldn't hire because they're like, no, you have to show up at this time. It's
too much of a
stay
schedule
till this
constraint.
time.
Yeah, if you're 10 minutes late, then,
Yep. And so,
Which I never understood.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so
I don't get that.
So for us, it's like just clock in when you get here,
Yeah.
and then clock out when you leave, and then we know how long you worked, and we'll pay you for
and
that.
we'll pay you for that. Like, it's cool.
Turns out that's a thing. Yeah.
And there's a lot of constraints, in other businesses where that's not possible. But it is possible with the manufacturing side that we're doing. So why not lean in that? And it's proven to work out very well for us.
Yeah.
And when people come to work for us, they end up being like, hey, telling their friends like, hey, I got this job that's like this, and we can do this, and then we end up hiring their friends.
Yeah, because those high quality people know other high quality people.
You're exactly right.
And then next thing you know, you have an amazing workforce.
Technically, a lot of these people wouldn't be working otherwise.
Yep.
I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them. So you're pulling people into the workforce that wouldn't be in it to begin with. But it does create, there are constraints that it creates for us that is different. So sometimes you'll have machine time or machines that just won't be working. You're not getting max usage out of the machines necessarily. So it comes at a cost, but we feel like it's worth it if I can get excellent people. Mm-hmm. So,
Again, that sounds all familiar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this what you guys do?
Yeah, to an extent. Like we have a couple people that work remote. Like there's certain, like the customer service side, it's all, we do everything. We don't have a phone, so it's all over through our support desk software. Mm-hmm. So like Marcy, and she's in Georgia actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah,
we have a Marcy too.
Oh, really?
Same person?
That's crazy. No, actually, I shouldn't say too much because y'all might take her. Marcy's awesome though. She has like a farm out there.
Oh, that's cool.
So she'll get on like she'll kind of be able to bounce back, take care of her goats, and she sends us goat
crazy.
pictures. Yeah, so like she'll do some customer service stuff and then like go clean the stalls or feed the goats and stuff.
Crazy.
And
It's a good life.
mess with the chickens and then come back. And she works from her house, so she's able to do that. Ian Went is out of New Mexico, and he's a knife maker on the side, so he's able to kind of work his own hours. I mean, like during the day, like when most of the tickets come in, they're on there. But like if he needs to go an hour over here and do something, or they have that flexibility too. So, and
that's awesome.
Same thing with the warehouse.
I would say I think us in the warehouse have a pretty good schedule and pretty relaxed environment as well. If need a day off, if we have to go do something, pick something up, leave, come back.
I think that's kind of it's something that businesses are going to have to adapt to. The work from home thing is one thing. We don't really offer work from home options for people.
It's kind of hard to sew from.
It makes it difficult.
A lot of specialty
right?
sewing machines that won't fit through people's doors.
Yeah.
No, but we try to compensate in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of modern companies are going to have to do something like that to attract the talent. Because a lot of people are like complaining about, well, I can't find anybody to do anything. It's like I keep my mouth shut a lot of times because I'm like, I don't have a problem finding people. Like, and a lot of people that have come to work with us have stayed with us for a really long time. The very first lady I hired, she is still there. So she worked at my house.
Oh, wow.
Also, don't tell the city.
Don't tell the city.
Actually, it's the county. It was funny because I got a visit after the week after we moved out of my house.
Oh, wow.
I got a visit from code enforcement, and they were like, "Are you running a business out of your house?" I'm like,
"Not currently."
Funny you say that. We just moved, so it wasn't a big deal. But I do know that I was breaking some sort of city ordinance or county ordinance. But yeah, anyhow.
If anyone knows Jesse, they know he's a real rebel.
Oh, I'm a super rebel. I do like finding ways around things, but yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, with a lot of things in life, you find high quality people and you treat them like adults, and if they're high quality people, they will act like adults. Mm-hmm. And that allows, management doesn't have to micromanage people, because a good manager doesn't want to micromanage, and a good employee doesn't want to be micromanaged.
Exactly.
So, you know, our hiring process, we always kind of said, like, you're an adult. We will give you the opportunity to act like an adult, be an adult, you know, manage your own time, get your work done, and, you know, we'll let you do that then. And it just makes for a more relaxed but more efficient work environment, because micromanaging is really inefficient.
Horrible. Yeah.
Like, no one wins in that.
That's kind of like the approach that we have. It's like, we'll give you the tools to do whatever you need to do,
Yep.
and then just like go figure it out. Like, go do it. You know,
Yep.
like, we're not gonna.
Don't ask me a ton of questions.
Yeah.
You can ask me questions, but don't ask me a ton of them.
Yeah, exactly. And like, if you empower people to make their own decisions, you get a lot better. You're not having to make all the decisions, and you're getting a lot better results in the end. And then, like, another thing that always like bugged me coming from, like, the fact that, you know, you have to be there from 9 to 5. It's like, well, there's nothing to do right now, so like, why are we here? Like,
Like, go push a broom, or
yeah, it's like
go
find
you know, clean the
do
bathroom.
busy work. You know, it's
Yeah.
A lot of inefficiency in that.
yeah. It's like, I mean, if there's nothing to do, like, if you got somewhere to be,
Yeah.
go do it. You know, there's
Yep. And you know, and Jesse and I and Steven as well, like, we worked for large corporations, and you see some of that stuff happening. You see the micromanaging, you see the inefficiencies, and you're able to take that and be like, is there a way we can be successful and avoid those things? Like, 'cause, you know, that's where you can actually be efficient, grow, but also just enjoy your time at work
People
a
just
lot
aren't-
more.
aren't happy too.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get a lot more happier people, and
Yeah.
happier people make better decisions, and like everyone around it's like a ripple effect, you know.
Yeah.
It has,
100%.
you know,
Yep.
third and fourth and fifth order effects. It's huge.
Yep. Yep.
100%. 100%.
So yeah, you know, that system has worked really well for us, and we continue to do that. We have in our equipment, like, we're investing a lot of money into very expensive equipment, massive sewing machines that are automated, massive cutting tables that are automated.
Yeah, you were saying the CNC machines for like cutting the beads
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yep. CNC cutting. They move fast, and
I've had to learn a lot of things.
Do y'all cut like multiple sheets at once, or
Nope.
No, so what's interesting about it is it's conveyorized.
yeah,
'cause I know nothing about this. This is
So
like coming
imagine,
forward.
like, you understand where there's like a gantry and stuff, and basically it has a roller cutter that comes down.
it's like
and,
a pizza cutter, basically.
and,
nice.
and it guides it,
Yeah.
right? And it also has a mark, like a pen that'll come down and mark things if we want. But that whole setup, the fabric rests on a conveyor, like a treadmill almost.
Oh,
It's-
nice.
Yeah, imagine like
And
a
it
really big
sucks-
treadmill
Yeah.
that is also an air hockey table, but
Exactly.
reverse.
but reverse.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So it pulls the stuff up on the table from the roll, cuts where it needs to cut, then keeps going,
So
and it
that's-
just drops the finished goods on the end.
So there's no need to stack anything deep, because
yeah.
it'll cut it so fast, and then it'll roll something new on,
Yeah.
and then cut it so fast. The machine's so efficient that it ends up not being used a whole ton. Like, it's only used a small percentage of the day because it's so fast.
Frustrating how little it gets used, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Like,
man.
man, this is too efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can we slow it down?
Well, I mean, but you know, doing it the other way is so inefficient
Yeah.
that it's extremely costly. And it creates, you know, it adds a labor cost it makes certain things not feasible at all, because your labor cost on cutting will be what it is on sewing, and it's like, you can't do that. So we've just found that, I mean, and certain things can't be made in the U.S. I mean, I wish everything could, but I mean, I guess if the American consumer could pallet, you know, like $500 or $600 jackets and, you know, $600 backpacks, you know, maybe you could do that. You know, but like, you see Mystery Ranch is successful at it, but they charge a lot
Yeah.
for their stuff.
It's also on a pretty small scale in like the grand scheme of things. Like,
Exactly.
You know, your average consumer is not going to go buy a Mystery Ranch. Like,
No,
a lot of them.
they're not a Jansport.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Jansport's going to make their stuff in Vietnam.
Yep. And they're going to charge $15 for it. And
Exactly.
Everyone's going to buy. You know, it's
Yeah, it's like there's certain things that it's not feasible for us to make here, and we have to be aware of that. Sometimes when we do research on a product that we're looking at making, we find out that it's like, well, there's not enough price elasticity for this product to even be made in our shop.
Yeah. Recently, I really wanted us to make an apron, because I thought that would be cool. And so we made a apron using Cordura. And
Oh,
the,
yeah.
yeah. The idea
Yeah, you
is,
probably saw it.
Yeah. I mean, you can get all the cool camo patterns you want. We had a little leather patch on it that we laser engraved our logo on it, and it had like multiple pockets and cool buckle system. And it was a really cool apron that you could use for gunsmithing or grilling or anything like that. I'm like, this is a cool product. This is a cool idea. I really like this. But it ended up just costing so much money.
Yeah.
And
like this cost us like $55 to make.
yeah, like some of the patterns, just because the camouflage patterns of that material is so expensive, and because we have pockets, we're ending up like layering it and stuff like that. You know, like the material, just the raw Cordura material cost was like $30.
Yeah.
On some of the aprons.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, try to compete with a $9 apron on Amazon that, is made overseas. And so we came out with that apron. I'm proud of that product. It's a cool product, but it's like, it's a lot of money for us. And it's
I think we ended up at like $90.
And it's a really expensive apron that we still don't make like hardly any money on.
I'm pretty sure our management took it off the site recently.
Yeah.
So
But,
sorry guys.
Sorry, everyone.
So you guys need some of those
It's a
for
collector's item if you got
the
one.
gun room.
Yeah.
No, we can make them for you if you want, Ian.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, we can custom engrave.
Yeah, but I had
the
some
logo on
questions
them.
about your logo because I tried lasering your logo and I was like, freak, man.
Yeah.
I can't make this happen. I need like a different version of it.
Yeah,
Does that make
we're working
sense?
on like an easier to laser engrave, because like we just bought a laser engraver
Nice.
For some stuff, and our logo with all the intricacies of it. We're trying to make one that's a little bit more friendly for small logos.
Yeah, because it basically blacked out
Yep.
everything in like in the Texas part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh crap.
Yeah,
And
That's
then
not gonna work.
the Ordnance, Jake's been messing with the laser engraver a lot, and he's done some leather patches and stuff. And like the Texas looks good, and then you get like big text Ordnance, and it's just like big text, and then like Ordnance.
Ordnance is
just
so
like,
small at the
brr.
bottom,
Yeah.
You're like,
Makes
what
sense.
does that even say?
But I was trying to make one for you guys. I just want you to know there was intent. Yeah.
It's the thought that counts.
That's
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
But yeah, so we also got lasers recently. We
You have
went
sharks
from,
with lasers?
I
Took
wish.
the words out of my mouth.
Did you get a fiber laser? What kind of laser?
We got. I don't
Sorry
know.
to nerd out right now.
It's
It's
yeah, it does that. It's like a little thing, and it's got the thing with
Does
the
it make
thing.
crazy noises?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
Nice.
a fiber laser then.
Yeah, I think
You
it
gotta
is.
wear
It's like a
glasses.
Yeah.
30 watt or something.
You could do metal.
Are you
with it and
doing?
stuff.
You're like engraving metal and
Yeah, so we
like,
bought it to like be able to engrave on like lowers,
suppressors
barrels.
and things
yeah.
like that.
Probably
And then we-
PMags you can do.
That's a fiber.
Yeah, we played around with some PMags. Yeah, we just did our first case of PMags.
Oh, I saw those.
Yeah.
Those looked good. Yeah.
They-
No, that's definitely a fiber laser. We don't have any fiber lasers.
Yeah. So we have really large
CO2.
lasers.
Oh, wow.
So we have three large ones and one medium, and they are
It's got a big old tube.
yeah.
Science.
Yeah. Ours are 80 watt tubes.
Oh wow.
And then we have one that's 155, which I realized after I bought it, I was like,
Yeah.
maybe we don't need it.
A little high.
we have
a little too much horsepower.
But that's what like the thought is more is better.
Turns out
Not
it's
quite so much.
You're
Turns
like,
out.
we lasered into the foundation by accident.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been in the past year we've really gotten into laser cutting,
Squadron,
more advanced materials, and making products using that. And our tourniquet holder is an example of that. It's Tegris, and there's Squadron in there, and we have a new belt coming out in late February that is going to be using some of that as well.
Oh, very cool.
Oh,
We're pretty excited about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You have my attention.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, do you want me to? I got it with me.
What?
Oh, dear.
You want to see
Man.
it?
You'll see it.
yeah. What
The
the
camera-
When
was
does
on.
this get released? I'm curious.
How? A month?
February 22nd is when it's coming
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we can
yeah,
push
we
it
can
back
do
till
that.
then.
Perfect.
Okay.
I've been wearing one of
You could do it maybe the week before or
Yeah.
something to
Yeah.
create
there-
hype.
There we go.
Yeah.
we've been or I've been wearing one of y'all's low profile belts for probably a good 6-7 months now, just as my EDC belt, and I love it. I love small, belts like that, simple, not a huge buckle that
It's funny that belt has been so popular.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Very
crazy.
simple, very clean.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
very functional.
I'm wearing it literally right
Yeah.
now.
And it's inexpensive too. So
Yes.
like
It is inexpensive.
We've been buying belts for forever, and normally it'd be at least 150% of the price that y'all charge, and it takes 6 to 8 weeks to get here. You know,
Oh,
like
dang.
yours, like it's inexpensive, it's awesome, and it's shipped like the same day. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Almost no lead time. So that was
I need to get actually a couple more colors.
yeah. We have black and gray.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
usually what we stick to.
So, do you want me to tell you a little bit about this?
Yeah.
We can tell you a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit, and then
let's see
they
it on the
can.
camera.
Steven,
Yeah, Steven should
why
talk.
don't you explain it?
So it's a Tegris. It's a 12-ply Tegris core that we've wrapped in Cordura, and then we laid you our laser cut squadron. Molly, we do a laser engraved logo and size on the back, so we're cutting down on having to do tags and all
Yeah.
that. And then we did the polymer GT buckle.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
So this is the Battle Belt Light for the very obvious reasons.
Like Bud Light.
Yeah.
Only 64 calories.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
For
definitely
a
less
great
calories
tasting
in
beer
this
that-
belt.
Oh,
It is
yeah,
very
100%.
light.
We'll fill you up and we'll let you do
Yeah.
But we're launching with, I think, 10 colors. And this buckle or this belt weighs less than a D-ring Cobra buckle.
Yeah, I was
The whole
feeling it.
belt.
It's,
The
it's
entire
like-
thing.
It's a featherweight. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people have kind of scoffed at the polymer GT buckle, but we've been using them for years on some of our police belts. And
And if it's not load bearing, like if you're not using it,
well, that stuff
No,
has a
most
500
people
pound
are
brake
not.
strength. It's
Yeah.
got-
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are you doing with your range belt that you need a 500 pound brake strength?
Steven could hang from a bridge and it would
Yep.
be fine.
Yeah.
We should try it.
yeah, I was gonna
We
say
probably
this
should
is-
do that,
this
yeah.
is a-
I would bet me and you could hang on it together.
We are on the 50th floor.
Yeah.
We
We could try this.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I don't mind
Yeah,
it.
and all the windows in the hotels in Las Vegas, they come out, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
they got-
That's a thing.
at least at another one they do.
Are you
Yeah,
guys
the other
make-
one they did.
Are you guys gonna have it in the rainbow pattern?
We're working on
Yes.
that.
So,
Okay, please do that.
We have 11 colors, but we're launching with 10 because we're trying to
Yeah,
figure
that
out
would
that
be
one.
Nice.
So the magic here is that we can use some advanced materials and some advanced manufacturing technologies to make a product that functions better, that weighs less, is available in more colors, and the
And
really
looks
exciting.
amazing.
Yeah, it's super clean looking. But the best part is it's actually going to cost less than our current battle
Oh, wow.
belt.
nice.
Do you have a price set?
So the MSRP that as of right now our plan is I believe $150.
Oh wow.
We are going to launch it at $130
Nice.
introductory price.
So
And that
that's
includes
the inner belt and
that
that
includes
belt.
the low profile,
wow.
the low profile inner belt, and this outer belt as configured with Molly on the outside and a GT Cobra buckle. There will be the aluminum Cobra buckle will be available as well, and it's double adjustable, which means that the belt, the adjustment ends, there's two of them, one for each side. And so from a manufacturing perspective, that makes it easier for us because we're not permanently sewing any of the buckles in.
Yeah.
So it's easy for us to just match up the buckle that the
Yeah.
customer orders.
One less step,
With-
less SKUs.
It's
Yep.
way less SKUs. I mean, you literally half the SKUs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because of that.
We actually we have the SKUs a couple of times because we're only offering this one in Mali because there's like no penalty to it. It doesn't really add cost.
Yeah.
Because it's already cheaper, and there's no added thickness, or the added thickness is so negligible that there's no reason not to just make it Mali, because if someone wants to use the Mali, they can. If they don't need to.
Yeah.
It's just super clean like that. And so it's with it being only available in Mali, and with it we're only one inner belt is going to be available with it. So
Right.
we've made it a lot more clean and efficient.
I don't know if
than
I've ever seen one of these like polymer Cobra buckles.
Yeah. So
but
Those have been around for a while,
They have.
actually.
Yeah,
So
I don't
it is an authentic Austria Alpen Cobra buckle, and the only difference of instead of being made in Austria, it's actually made in the USA.
Oh,
so it's
even
made in the
cooler.
USA
Nice.
by ITW Nexus, which is one of the major polymer injection molding,
molders,
like
yeah.
mil spec hardware companies in the US. So it's a very, very high quality buckle. The buckle's lighter weight. It helps bring the cost down, so it'll cost less with the polymer buckle, and it is plenty strong for that job.
yeah.
So, like I said, our 2-inch law enforcement belt has had the polymer buckle as an option for years now, and I don't know that we've seen one break.
I've
So
never seen
if-
one break.
If cops can't break one, like
Have you
Probably
given them
pretty
to
good.
the Marine Corps yet?
No, not yet.
We don't allow the rainbow.
They would try to eat it.
So
Like,
Especially if you have the
hamburger?
rainbow colored ones,
Yes.
they think it's great.
get Skittles. So you said 10 colors. So I'm trying to think of 10 colors
that's a
that
lot
you
of
would
colors.
make
So-
a belt. So
Yeah.
Well,
what-
so
all
one of
your
the
solid colors.
The whole rainbow. No, just kidding.
So so your
Black,
blacks,
Odie.
greens, coyote. I don't think we're doing gray.
No gray.
But all your multicams, tropic, arid,
Okay,
and
okay,
regular,
that explains that.
woodland.
Yes. Sold.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Actually,
won that
the camouflage pattern
woodland
ones.
thing.
Oh, hell
The
yeah.
camouflage pattern ones look the best because
They look great.
the Cordura wrap and then the squadron, the patterns overlap.
Like just how the Molly like wrap, just like
It looks
like
so
super
clean.
camouflage,
Nice.
super clean. It looks
Yeah.
great.
But our initial testing and input from people is Ranger is going to perform very well.
Yeah, Ranger's
I've been
the most popular
surprised
color
by
right
that.
now.
Yeah. We sent out 20 to 30 to testers, and almost half was Ranger Green, which I was honestly pretty surprised.
Yeah.
I thought Woodland or something was going to
yeah.
be like the killer color, but
But a little bit of feedback on why we're offering so many colors is because over the years we get requests for so many different colors for our battle belts, and the problem is that in the textile world, doing a color, I don't want to say it's not an option, but it is extremely expensive and very difficult to do. So a lot of the weavers and the people that put color on webbing, they have really high minimums, and it makes it really difficult to even do that. We offered a few times. We've offered now wrapped belts. And I think right now we still have the wrapped belt. We still have a few more buckles left for the hybrid wrapped belt. But that's a way for us to, we essentially wrap webbing and use that to change the color. And with this, what's nice about it is there's no webbing in this.
Yeah.
So we can use existing colors, and getting fabric in different colors is wildly easier to do. So that's, we want to offer a lot of color opportunities for people so that hopefully they stop asking for
You can
a ton of different colors.
pick your flavor of the day.
Exactly. You can have every single one of them too. Got to catch them all, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's true. And we encourage customers to buy one of every color.
Absolutely. It's actually a good idea.
Actually, buy
it
two
is.
of every color.
It's on the highly recommended section.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Very cool. That's going to be great.
Chris, you want to see it? Chris
Yeah.
Floyd's sitting off camera, so
We're going to let him check out the coolness.
Nice.
But yeah, we're very excited about that. That product is a result of the years of us learning different manufacturing techniques, different materials, and taking everything that we know and putting it together. I mean, and everything we've learned just about belts, like what are the needs of the customers, what are the wants of the customers, and putting it all into one final product. And we're very excited about that. And we sent a couple of dozen test belts out to our industry friends who are out there on ranges a lot, getting time in, and very good feedback from everyone. So I think that it's going to do very well. And I think people are going to be very excited, especially like just the value of it.
Yeah.
The fact that it's like an extremely high end product that's really well thought out, but it also just
For $150.
also happens to be cheaper. Yeah.
And it's not
with
cheaper
free
because you're
shipping.
cutting stuff out. It's cheaper because
It's
of
cheaper
superior
because
manufacturing.
It's cheaper because of superior manufacturing.
Yeah,
it's not because it's of lower quality. It's in many ways of higher
We're just finding
quality.
better ways of doing things.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's the exciting part. Like that's
Yep.
that's what's
Yes.
that's what's cool.
Yeah, being able to like truly innovate is
Yes.
like very fun.
oh, I love it. I get Infusion 360 and I'm just like, how do we do this? It's super fun.
Yes.
how many people do you have sewing?
Sewing itself, so we have roughly 45 employees.
Okay. Oh
right
wow.
now. So of those, the ones that are actually sewing, it's probably closer to 40,
Nice.
high 30s, something like that.
Wow. So y'all scaled pretty fast. Y'all went from garage to 700 square feet to now 11,999.
That's right. Yeah.
45 employees.
Yeah, that's a lot of scaling in a short amount of time. Like it's easy going. The hardest for us, it was the hardest going from me and Madison to one employee number one.
Yeah.
That was hard. And then 2 and 3 were a little bit different. But then going from, we haven't scaled as much as y'all have. But what's kind of walk us through the challenges and how did that whole process go and what?
I mean, so I mean,
that's got to take a lot.
It's I mean, one problem at a time, right? So I mean, for me, I mean, Kurt's focused mostly on marketing and the operations side. I'm kind of like, all right, we have got to figure this out. And so half the battle for me was just to figure out what machines to buy. I mean, because I didn't even know what to search for at one point. Because it's I want a sewing machine that can sew automatically.
Yeah, type that into Google.
Yeah, and I want to say that honestly,
sewing for dummies.
Yes.
at the time, I think that was fairly unknown. And so I didn't really get any search results that were meaningful. So over time, I started figuring out kind of what those things are called. And this is where trade shows really come into handy. Going to trade shows where they do textiles and they have sewing machines there, and you can talk to Mitsubishi or Juki or some of these other sewing machine manufacturers and really kind of get an idea of what it is they can do for you. So that was kind of the big way for us to scale, is because having an entire building filled with sewing machines and all of them are just the same, and you have to essentially teach a skill to somebody is really difficult. It's almost impossible to scale that here in the States because pretty much no one knows how to sew. I would say that 90% or more of the people that work for us don't sew out. They never knew how to sew before. It's really not a question we even ask in an interview because I'm not.
The answer is
99.
The answer is no. I'm not going to ask you. So whatever. Figuring out that I can automate some of these processes and make it quicker, faster, and easier, and also I don't necessarily have to teach somebody how to sew. I just need to teach them how to run this machine. And it's a lot of, loading things, making sure things are lined up, clamping it down, pushing a button. The machine does its work. If there's if something happens, push this button, to stop it. Then that's a whole lot easier. And we certainly do a fair amount of freehand sewing, is what I would call it. But I try not to do. I try to take my goal, at least my purpose at the company right now, is to get as much of that from freehand over to automatic. And I think that's the only way we've been able to scale.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have had to raise the price through the roof just to hinder the amount of orders we're getting. So
it's the damn robots are taking over.
Yeah.
Well, and employees though, we had an employee meeting, and I remember saying to them, we need to automate more. And I asked a question. I said, who thought that the first time we automated one of these processes that that this was going to take their job? And I was surprised how many hands went up. A lot of people's hands went up. And I just assured them, I said, this is really just the path for us to do more with you guys. The most valuable asset that our company has is you. It's the employees. Because none of these machines run themselves.
Yeah.
They have to, stuff has to happen with
Feed
them.
the material to it, change the settings, something.
We can only semi-automate. There's no full automation of sewing, really. Yeah, not like that.
Not yet.
So, I mean, that for me was the biggest way to scale.
Yeah, every machine has an operator. So it's just a matter of how can we, the more that employee can make, the more product they can make, the more we can afford to pay them. Mm-hmm. So those
raises don't come from nowhere.
Yeah, that all comes from us finding maximum efficiency. And so when an employee can produce a lot, they're more valuable to us. And it's a combination of that equipment and that employee being able to be efficient. So,
Yeah.
but scaling's it's fun. Yeah.
We hired a lot of people. It was
Yeah. And we, Jesse and I worked at our day job at Delta for 3 years.
Yeah.
Because we were growing so fast. It's like you get stuck in that, like,
I can't take a
this
paycheck. I
business
don't.
is growing so fast that we're poor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have any money.
Yeah. It's like this is the fun part is the government, when it comes to be tax time, they're like, no, it says here you made this much money.
I'm
It's like,
I haven't seen a
didn't
dime
get
of
any
that. Yeah.
None of that was like, Delta was the reason, like, we had money to buy food.
Yeah, but
it ended up working out really well that way. But once we were able to do a transition, because working for an airline is not one of those like, we'll just start working part time. It's like you're in or you're out.
Yep.
And you got to like figure out how to make that transition. So we were able to make that transition. But that's one of the tough parts about scaling is like cash flow, where it's like we're growing so fast that we don't have any money.
Yep.
And it's
Or we might need to actually put more money in.
yeah,
the business.
that did happen. That did happen a
Yeah.
couple of times where it's like, like I remember when we first told our wives like, hey, we're gonna like put a little bit of money in. I mean, it was like a little bit of money to buy like the sewing machine and stuff. And it's like, but we'll be able to. We're loaning our business some money. We'll get the money back real soon. Don't worry about it. It was like
The return will be great, and we'll get it back.
We ended up having to like do that like one or two more times.
Oh.
We'd go back to it and be like, "Hey, honey,
yeah.
the business needs a little more money.
bit more.
It's only because we're successful. It's not because it's just because it's growing fast." And it's like, maybe next year we'll get that money back. And then by the time we could actually start paying ourselves, like the business was like a pretty big machine that was just rolling along, and we managed to to make it all work, and it worked out really well. But it is kind of one of those like hilarious like issues of like we don't have any money because we're growing so fast.
Yeah. We're too successful.
Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of I'm sure you've heard of the Oprah effect. It's like these businesses that go on and being on Oprah. That was during my time as a child, but like. They would get like a million orders,
Yeah.
and then go out of business.
Yeah. No,
like
there is
that's a thing.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. Like, you can be too successful too quickly, and it'll crush a business. Like,
Oh, totally. Like if you got a million orders tomorrow, that would crush you.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Good luck with the customer service.
people are
side.
like,
Exactly.
well, why don't you go get a government contract for the military? I'm like, I could never do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have count to 1 million. Let me know what that's like. Because, if you take some of these parts and pieces that go into a belt, I don't even have enough room to store.
Yeah, 1 million Cobra buckles.
A million, you would need 1 million Cobra buckles. You'd need.
how many spools? Of,
I don't even know. Like, it probably wouldn't even fit in our building.
And then how do you pay for that?
Yeah.
There's so much.
Yeah, I would be. You would have to spread that over like 100 years for me. There's no way I can't do that. So
yeah.
at least not currently.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that would be a great
Maybe
goal.
next year.
Maybe next year. So yeah,
So since you guys all worked in the aircraft field, when will you start manufacturing
aircraft parts.
aircraft?
Airplanes?
Yeah.
I've looked into doing seatbelts before.
I would say, like, what about seatbelts? seat
I legit have
cushions?
looked into that.
If you hand me a sheet of paper, I will make you an airplane right now.
The offer stands.
Yeah. It might even go like 5 feet.
Chris, we need a piece of paper.
Get a paper clip too.
Can you open these windows? That would be really cool.
I'll throw a chair out. You ever see the TikTok video of like the dude? He's in like a New York City skyscraper, like way high up. Maybe it's an apartment building. I don't know. And he like throws a paper airplane, and it's so peaceful and it's like relaxing. And this, there's busy New York City behind it, and this paper airplane. It's built perfectly, so it flies and it's catching all the updrafts, and it's like it looks like it's going to go down, and then it catches another one, and it's like it's a 5-minute video, and it's just like I could watch this for hours and just fall asleep to it because it's like it's beautiful, it's super cool, it's like just chill, and you're like,
that's awesome.
This thing's gonna fucking go forever. Sorry, side tangent.
Nice, I like it. I'm gonna go look up that video.
Yeah, I'll find it.
No, my favorite. Was that a soccer game?
Oh,
They
yeah,
throw
it hits
and
the dude
it
right
hits
in
the
the
dude in the
dick.
back of the head. Like someone throws it from like the nose seat, and it just goes all the way down, and the crowd starts getting hype.
that's
and it just
legit. That's
the back of someone's head.
I thought of him in the crotch.
I don't know. It
Head, crotch, same thing.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hits a person,
Yeah.
and that's all I really
It
matters.
hits a head.
Yeah.
We still enjoy airplanes and stuff. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
we were
no.
actually talking about going to Oshkosh
Yeah.
this year. So
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely an aviation nerd still, and I love that stuff. But yeah, it's
Yeah, Kurt was calling out airplanes yesterday on the ride home.
yeah.
My one of my really good friends from back home works at the airport. He's like a manager for like the maintenance shop for like a private little like aircraft maintenance facility. And so like I fuck with him all the time, and I'll just send him like, I was in the Houston airport and I was like, look, a DC-10. It was just like, it was a 747 or something like that. I just send him random airplanes like, oh, DC-10. He's like, shut up. No, it's not, you idiot. Like they don't even make that anymore.
Yeah, DC-10s. I've seen some DC-10s. Usually they're like FedEx or UPS or something.
Yeah.
Like they're not in service
No.
for passenger carry anymore.
But they're still awesome.
Yeah,
They are really cool, though.
I mess with them and just send them random pictures.
I want a DC-3 though. That'd be amazing.
But if people buy enough of our products, we will buy an airplane.
Yep,
So
we'll do
just,
it.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
You could fix it.
If
I mean,
customers
that'd be-
want us to buy an airplane, buy a lot of products, we will buy an airplane. Yes.
Just not a million. I can't count that high.
Can't do a million.
Yeah,
Can't do a million.
That's tough.
Yes.
So y'all have the new belt coming out, the new battle belt. Any other big plans for 2023? The fanny pack's out.
Yeah. So the fanny pack came out at the end of 2022, and it is, it's definitely worth talking about because it is, there's a lot of fanny packs that people use for concealed carry, but this one from the ground up was designed specifically for concealed carry, and there's some pretty big differences in the design and development of it, so that it can best do that job. I'll do my best to kind of just describe it for someone who is listening, but the idea is we wanted to make something that could carry a subcompact or smaller pistol. Like I carry a Glock 43X in mine, and that way it's a small pack. It's very thin. It's very like streamlined to your body.
as I'm looking at your crotch,
Yes.
staring at
No,
your fanny pack.
Please check it out. This one is
Also check out the fanny pack.
this is my SHOT Show fanny pack, so therefore it is full of stickers and granola bars. So that was another very important usage. But the idea is we wanted to fix some of the problems that fanny packs that were not designed for concealed carry would have. So a lot of them are pretty bulky, and one of the problems is if you were to zip them open, there's a chance that your firearm could just fall out. And people fix that, or the other issue is that you want to make sure that you have basically like two things. You need safety and retention. So we need to make sure the trigger is covered, and we need to make sure the gun isn't going to fall out. So a lot of people cover their trigger by putting like a little trigger guard like over their pistol, and like a little Kydex one, and then they'll tie it off on a lanyard into a fanny pack. That's a pretty common way to fanny pack carry, so that when you draw the gun, the little trigger thing pops off because of the lanyard, and then you can aim and shoot. That's a decent solution, but the problem of opening the fanny pack and the gun falling out is still potentially there depending on the design of the fanny pack. So we started ours with the idea of like, well, let's make a fanny pack that can hold an inside the waistband holster in the fanny pack. And that provides us with the safety. The trigger is going to be covered. And it provides us with the retention that comes with the holster. So the problem with that is like, how do we attach the holster to the fanny pack? So we put Velcro on the front panel of the fanny pack, and we made this little attachment piece that is essentially it's a small piece of belt, like 1.5-inch belt, and that is sewn to a Velcro panel. The Velcro panel attaches to the front of the fanny pack, and so basically the front of the fanny pack kind of functions as inside the waistband part of your belt. And so you can put the pistol in your fanny pack in the holster. You could open the zipper, and if you open the zipper, because of the way this fanny pack is structured, it won't flop open. It stays tight enough, but it opens a little bit so that you can get your hand in there and draw.
Ian's buying one right now.
Yeah.
Yo, that purple one is fire.
Yes. So and
It's just for you.
Yeah, I like.
Did you see
as I add this to my cart.
Did you see the hype video?
I would.
Yeah.
Yes.
The hype video that
Yes.
we released?
I don't think I did.
Like
Yeah.
gold chains, LB
yeah.
sweaters.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll
show you
still
after.
haven't heard from you, LB.
I would
We've been
highly
waiting.
recommend the listeners go to the Blue Alpha YouTube channel and watch the fanny pack launch video because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Obnoxious.
And it was thoroughly hilarious.
Oh,
and
look, there's a link on your website.
Yes, there is. So you can open this and quickly draw your pistol, but also if you open it and turn it upside down, like nothing comes out. So you get like really good retention, you get really good safety, but you get this enhanced comfort of not having the pistol inside your waistband. And there's a time and a place for that.
That's pretty. I mean,
Yeah.
the pictures you have an Archon Type B in it, which is not a small gun.
No, it isn't.
So
So the idea is like for people who are going to the gym, walking the dog, any sort of scenario where they don't have their normal like concealed carry inside the waistband.
Short shorts in the summertime.
Short
where it's
shorts,
like,
yeah.
you know,
Cut
Hang
off
out the Dairy
vibes.
Queen.
If you're naked.
Yes, cut off jean shorts.
I mean,
do you like my fanny pack?
with the pockets hanging out,
Yeah.
like any of that stuff.
The guys at Shooter Symposium saw that one.
Yes. But it's an option for them. So basically, like, people need to think of this concealed carry fanny pack as a tool in the toolbox, right? Like, it's not necessarily going to be the everyday option. It can be if they want it to be, but it's not. That's not what we're
You're not trying to
accomplish.
replace everything else.
No, we're giving people another tool in the toolbox. So if you are going on a long road trip and you normally carry inside the waistband, you should try this fanny pack
Yeah.
because the gun is it's in the same spot you want it. It's right on your lap. The seatbelt goes right underneath your fanny pack, and you are like extremely comfortable. Like
Without
it's
the
like it's-
pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what can happen is
Peak
you
dad
go on like a
Yeah,
five hour road trip, and at a certain point you're just like, oh, this sucks, and then like boom, pistol goes in the cup holder, and you end up like making a decision that's like, I don't want to do this. I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do this anyways because it's more comfortable this way. And this eliminates people from having to make that choice. So going on a road trip, you could even take your wallet out and put your wallet in the front pocket, and that way you're not sitting on your wallet.
Yeah.
And then you're just like riding in maximum comfort
Yeah.
while still being perfectly safe. And if you wanted to, you could even unzip it and like, have it ready to go. If you're going through a neighborhood that's, not so nice. But you get to the gas station to gas up, and you're at a gas station you've never been to before, and you walk inside. It's like, oh, now I'm taking a pee, and I just remembered that my gun is in the cup holder outside in the car.
Yeah.
And like I'm in the dangerous place I've never been to before, and my gun is in the car. Like mistakes were made.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so this is a way to prevent that. And there's going to be a million other scenarios where people are going to be like, oh, like once if they were to get the fanny pack, they'd be like, oh, and this is another usage where I'd have for it. And I wore it for 6-9 months while we were testing it. Basically, almost all of last year, I was wearing the fanny pack like every day, trying to do a lot of longevity testing to it. And I went into this thinking like, oh, this will be like a neat thing. It'll be a little niche product. And by the end, I was like, I'm a true believer. Like, this is
Kurt went in with
Kurt, every
I'll
day.
just try the tip. I'll
Yeah.
just try, and then it just
it
consumed
was
him.
yes.
Hey, Kurt could not take it off.
No.
Like
Yeah.
it was just like every day Kurt had a fanny pack. But what's funny is it like was erased in my brain. I forgot he was even wearing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's very slim
you don't
and-
see it that often.
It's very slim, and
truthfully.
especially if you have like a hoodie on, it's gone. It
Yeah.
disappears. So it's I think that it's a really viable product that will catch on, and my guess is that people will start making other companies will start making a version of this once they realize that like, oh, this thing's like the idea is sound,
Yeah.
and the function is legit. A lot of people will it'll kind of like change their lives a little bit, like where they'll find moments where it's like, yeah, I mean, really,
Case in point.
like I said, I'm a true believer in this fanny pack. Like it's amazing, and I was like the first time I wore it, I was kind of like looking around to like people like, are they looking at me in my fanny pack?
It's like the first time you carried ever. You're like,
and then you realize like, oh, nobody notices.
But like
nobody
they're
cares.
in again.
Yeah, but
They are.
Like the fanny pack is.
Yeah, and that's the justification for its existence.
and especially when you have a 3-color fanny pack, you're like, he doesn't have a Glock in there.
Yeah.
No, like we've got the gray and the black, but then we've got the multicolor, and fanny packs are in, and these are designed to not look tactical. They're designed to look like any other fanny pack. You can have a pistol in here, but the pistol, like the shape of the pistol, does not print at all. I think people should give it a chance.
I'm literally going to order one.
Yeah, I think you would be very happy. You'll use it a few times, and so like Sean Heron, our buddy Sean from We Like Shooting, I sent him one to test, and he basically was like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure, whatever." And now I talked to him recently. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm kind of obsessed. Like, it's just it makes certain parts of my life so much better that it's just like kind of life changing."
Yeah, I'm having back surgery in 2 weeks, so I'm like gonna be.
Yep.
You know, back brace and like sweatpants for probably a month. So I'm like, how am I going to carry a gun if I like need to go anywhere? Because I'm not going to probably put on a belt anytime soon. I'm like,
There you go.
boom.
Yep. So, and I've taken concealed carry classes with it. The way I wear it is basically I put the strap of the fanny pack goes right over the top of my belt, and I have no issues drawing like two-handed draws, no problem.
Nice.
Just I do the one zip with my left hand, reach into the fanny pack with the right hand, and draws are just as easy as inside the waistband. There's a tiny, tiny time penalty, but it's one of those balancing things where it's like, if like the comfort is really, really nice, and the ability to like, on some of those days where some people might be like, I'm not going to carry today because of whatever situation. This might be the difference maker where they're going to be like, I am carrying today because I have a way to do it that like I'm happy with.
Yeah, it's convenient. And,
Yeah. And that's a big deal. Like the difference between not carrying and carrying is a big deal.
yeah, step
So-
one of the gunfight is to bring a gun.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely a product I'm very excited about. And I think it's slowly going to catch on, and people are going to start to appreciate it. And
Nice.
I think it'll become a fairly popular product
Nice.
once more people know about it and kind of understand the capabilities. But yeah, I definitely recommend people go watch our launch
It's
video.
epic. Yes.
Yeah,
I remember
very
watching it.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, there were many moments where Steven and I we dressed like early '90s weirdos, and had gold chains and you know, tight jeans, and just walking around our hometown of Noonan, Georgia. Just like there were moments where we would just look at each other like we're like at the crosswalks like on the town square, and we just start laughing. It's just like, this is so absurd.
Yeah.
Like we look like absolute morons.
And the people driving by gave you the look
I
as
thought
well.
there were gonna be car
Yeah, you have a
accidents. Yes.
7 foot
guy,
huge man,
yeah,
and
in
you're
an
like,
LL Bean sweater, and tight jeans, and
And the chain.
like the crazy fanny packs. Yeah, it was very fun. But yeah, that's what most of our YouTube videos are, is us just trying to make each other laugh. So
Awesome. Thank y'all for coming on.
yeah.
Dude, this was,
Thank you for the invite.
yeah, this was pretty cool. Is it bluealpha.us? Or
So you
what's the
can go
website?
to that. That will just forward to our website. But the real website domain is bluealphabelts.com.
Ah, okay.
Technically. So
Gotcha.
Yep.
Any Instagram, YouTube, of course?
yeah, at Blue Alpha on Instagram, at Blue Alpha Belts on Facebook, and then
type in Blue Alpha on
Google.
YouTube.
Like we,
Yeah, like if you look up Blue Alpha, you will find us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd recommend people check out our YouTube channel. There's lots of
New stuff. Yeah.
informational stuff on there, but there's lots of fun stuff on
Yeah.
there as well.
yeah, the
you know,
entertainment value is.
yeah, they're short, fun videos that I think are worth watching. So everyone should go watch our Christmas video as well.
Yeah.
oh,
You want
that
to
was
see
a
what
good one.
Yeah, if you want to see what life is like
yeah.
behind the scenes at around
There's
Christmas
a reason
time.
why I've been so quiet, because I get yelled at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to see me,
Hey, where is that nose, man?
Yeah.
you want to see a candy cane scream at a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
You should watch that video. It gets kind of dark. But again, another video where Steven and I were just like trying so hard not to laugh
Like
at each other.
it was funny enough when my 7-year-old daughter watched it. She's like, "Why is Mr. Kurt being mean to you?" she legitimately got upset at Kurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, it's okay, it's okay." But
amazing.
she was just like, "Why is Mr. Kurt being mean to you?"
Why does he hate you?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah, thank y'all for coming on,
Yeah.
man. Really enjoyed it. If y'all can, go check them out. If you don't have a Blue Alpha belt, you're wrong. No, seriously, we love y'all guys. Love the
Appreciate
stuff. And thank y'all to everyone for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, etc. Really appreciate y'all watching, though. Yeah, we appreciate it. And we will see you next time.
yeah.
Bye.
Boom. Done.